up, motherfuckers? It's a midday video from the hater up in this bitch. I'm recording it midday. I don't know if I'm going to release it right now, maybe later, motherfuckers. All right, let's get to it. First of all, we got a couple of new subscribers up in this bitch. All right. So first of all, one of them just wrote it down, so I got to figure out where this guy is. You know what I'm saying? Where this guy is, motherfuckers. Where is he? Where did he say? Da-da-da-da. I'll hum for you guys while I find it. Yeah, I can't find it, looks like. Oh, there it is. 06902 says, well, you go. A new subscriber here. Keep it up. Thank you, 06902. You know what I'm saying? We like having more friends around. You know, we're almost at 400 almost at 400 subs, motherfucks. We may actually be at 400 subs because I've learned that there is kind of a lag between the subs that appear on my channel, and if I go into the analytics, it tells you like the exact number of subs you have. So I haven't checked that. I typically don't, but you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers. And then we also have one more subscriber. Now this guy, Firestarheart. Firestarheart, welcome, motherfucker. I met this guy at a stream that I went to yesterday, and he checked out my channel, I guess, and he said to me in the stream, he said, I subscribe to you. We need to, like, show love for these small channels. You know, and I'm just like, whoa there, kid. You know what I'm saying? Small channel. You know, I may have about 400 subscribers, but believe you me, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I've only been around for 5 months or so. You know what I'm saying? So, not even 5 months. So, with that in mind, you tell me how small I am when the stream that we were on, you know what I'm saying? That guy had like 26,000 subscribers, right? I mean, his videos get like 1,000 views, you know, so it's obviously mostly bullshit, but it is what it is, right? He got a lot of subscribers, but I checked to see his oldest video 9 years ago, motherfuckers. If I do this for 10 years, I will have more than 26,000 subscribers, motherfuckers. So don't sleep on the hater. And if you're here and you're new, maybe this is your first experience with the hater. Maybe you're loving what you're hearing, you know? If you want to hear more, I will make more if you subscribe today, motherfuckers. So do as you're told. But Firestarheart, welcome aboard. You're a good egg. I like you, Firestarheart. Now, the thing for which we are here for today, motherfuckers, all right? We're going to talk about this incredibly long show that was pretty boring, if I do say so myself. The Super Showdown, motherfuckers. The Super Showdown. So, first match is the prestigious two-week Battle Royal. Now, I don't think if they tried to make this seem less prestigious that they could succeed. You know? Because the match started with Lashley and R-Truth. Lashley came out with Lana. Lana was wearing a full-on burqa up in this bitch. Now, I don't care if she's wearing a burqa because that's like their laws, I guess. Or is that a law or just a rule? I'm not even sure. So, I think it's a law, right? So, that's actually, I don't know. I've never been to Saudi Arabia, but I did go to Dubai once, and there were various types of people. Some wore the burqa, some didn't give a fuck. So, there you go. But her wearing the burqa, like, the problem isn't that she's wearing the burqa. The problem is that she didn't even stay out for the match. She came out wearing a burqa and then just left. So I'm just like, yo, you could have saved money on that burqa dress, number one. You could have saved money on her flight and hotels or whatever, right? You could have saved a lot of money on that bullshit. You don't need Lana here at all. And honestly, you don't even need Lashley here because the match started. Lashley goes for a spear. He misses, and R-Truth inadvertently schoolboys him, right? Which means that R-Truth just happens to be on his hands and knees, and Lashley trips over him like a bumbling idiot, and R-Truth just pins him, right? This was ridiculous, right? Lashley deserves so much better than this. And while I do like the fact that R-Truth won because I think R-Truth is one of the most underrated wrestlers, and apparently there's a 24, like WWE 24 or whatever, documentary on him, which I am going to watch because I really like R-Truth. But Lashley is just like a monster of a human. You know, Lashley deserves better than this garbage, right? So, what's it called? He won, and then next was, who was next? I put it down in my notes, been this bitch. Underdad, who hasn't been back since his injury, / since he was, I think, suspended for steroids or whatever, right? I don't remember why he was suspended, motherfuckers. But let me tell you this, right? Here's the thing about Andrade, right? He's good, don't get me wrong, he's good, but I really do believe now that Angel Garza is better than him. So, you know, Move along, kid. Get out of my face, motherfucker. I'm liking Angel Garza more now, but I like Andrade still. Now, Andrade came out. He tried to do the little DDT. I fast forward a little bit just so I could get to being live because like I started the event a little late and I wanted to get live. So I fast forward a little bit, but I saw the finish of this part of the match. Andrade hits the Judas effect, which I believe he calls the Judas effect. Just kidding, motherfuckers. He hits the Judas effect, basically. Falls down, R-Truth falls on top of him and pins him. Right? So there goes Andrade. Next up, we have Rowan. He comes out and he just is Rowan. You know, he just does Rowan shit. Same shit we've seen for 3 months this asshole's doing, right? Except this time he gets DQ'd because what happened? What did he do to get DQ'd? I think he like smacked R-Truth with something, or maybe hit him on the steps. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he got DQ'd and then he did a post-match beatdown to R-Truth. AJ Styles comes out next and eventually puts that calf crusher on R-Truth and makes him tap. AJ Styles then waits for Rey Mysterio to come out. Rey Mysterio's not coming out. So AJ Styles is like, yo, I need to win this match, motherfuckers. And then they go to the back where they show the OC beating up Rey Mysterio. And I'm just like, all right, that's cool, right? Hopefully this didn't happen in Saudi Arabia. Hopefully they just filmed this after Raw or something, so they didn't have to fly these assholes out for some reason, you know? Maybe they did it there too. Oh, and I think they may have done it there because the OC was, I think, in the dark match because they're dark match jobbers now. But yeah, then AJ Styles is like, all right, good. So Mysterio's not coming out. The referee demands that they just count to 10, right? So thus far in this match, absolutely nothing's happened, right? And like they start counting to 10, and then they go back to the backstage, and OC's pretty much dead. Right? And then Undertaker appears. Like it's like his shoes and his coat, but it's obviously him, right? He comes out and he joins the prestigious two-way battle royal. He just goes inside the ring. AJ's like, you can't be here. He grabs AJ Styles by the throat and delivers a shitty-looking chokeslam and pins him. So that pretty much confirms, in my opinion, right? AJ Styles versus Taker at Mania. Now, I like Undertaker. You know, I like AJ Styles too, but I like Undertaker. But I'm going to have to say, like, I think at WrestleMania, I mean, I might change my mind on this, but I think, like, as it stands, I think AJ Styles should win. You know, I know that's, like, going to surprise some of you because it's weird, right? Because it's like, I don't typically like the AJ Styles of the world, but I do like AJ Styles. But AJ Styles should win, not because he's AJ Styles. Like, I think anybody who's, like, at that spot that AJ Styles is in should win against Undertaker because Undertaker is no longer believable. You know what I mean? Like, he just isn't believable anymore. I mean, who knows? Maybe at WrestleMania, he comes out and looks like $1 million, and at which point, he should beat AJ Styles, right? But Undertaker, like, he failed in the chokeslam, you know? Like, the chokeslam, he tried to do it to AJ Styles. AJ Styles jumped as high as he could. Undertaker lifted him up a little bit more, but then he lost the grip on the throat. So it just looked like shit. It's like, it's one thing he had to do, you know? So it's getting to the point now, right? And a lot of people didn't think it would get to this point because a lot of people thought that he would retire before. But it's gotten to the point where Undertaker now like is more a liability than he is an asset. And I understand, you know, he like my friend texted me during the event. He's like AJ Styles is going to be wrestling a mop, and I'm like, yeah, a mop that draws more than AEW combined, but nonetheless. But the facts are what they are. It's like at a certain point, it's like if there's something ridiculous in the way the match would look if AJ Styles does all these moves and then loses. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that idea. It's the same. Like Undertaker should lose for the same reason that, I don't know, Rey Mysterio should lose to Great Khali, right? Because it's not realistic. It's gotten to the point where now the roles have reversed, right? AJ Styles is not like Hornswoggle. He's a grown man, you know? There's no reason why AJ Styles can't beat up The Undertaker in real life at this point. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, like there should be some sort of realism. Now, don't get me wrong. I have absolutely no problem with Undertaker beating AJ Styles clean. You know, I like AJ Styles, but if Undertaker decides to beat his ass clean, so be it. A big deal. Who cares? Like, no one loses by losing to The Undertaker. No one no one suffers from that, basically. You know what I mean? Like, if you lose to Taker, it's whatever. It's like, you know, you aren't going to, like, lose your spot on the card because it's Undertaker. You expected to lose to him. So, that happened. The winner of the prestigious two-weight battle royal is Undertaker. And to show how prestigious the trophy is, Taker just leaves without it. Like, nobody gives a fuck about this trophy. Then we had the New Day and the Miz. The New Day versus Miz and Morrison. Now, the John Morrison return has obviously fallen flat. You know what I mean? Nobody really cares about John Morrison at this point. Like, they missed opportunity to do something good with him, and now he's just another tag team jobber. You know, people were like, oh, I want to see him versus Seth Rollins, and that, like, I would have liked to see that because they're both athletic, right? But at this point, he's being booked more like a Buddy Murphy than a Seth Rollins. So I think that's that for that one, man. Like, who gives a fuck, you know? So there you have it. Match starts. The match ends with Kofi Kingston momentarily being like his head through the ropes. Morrison hits him with a chair in his midsection, and Miz rolls him up. New tag champs, motherfuckers. Now, is Xavier Woods considered like part of this tag team reign since he hasn't even been on TV during this whole time? If so, that's kind of fucked up, because then I'd like to say that I should be considered a tag team champion now with Miz and Morrison. Because I'm doing about as much as Xavier did for them during this title run. But anyways, next up we had a match I didn't know we were going to have, which was Humberto Garza versus Angel Carrillo, motherfuckers. Now, I said those names wrong, but I did it on purpose, because they're the same fucking guy, motherfuckers. Same guy, except for, of course, the fact that Angel Garza is better than him. He's more charismatic, he's cooler, and he gets crowd reactions. Like, people, like, there's reasons to be interested about Angel Garza. Now, people might be thinking, what are those reasons? I'll tell you why. At a certain point in the match, he did a camel clutch, and then the fans were, like, mildly chanting, and he was like, shut up! Shut up! And it's these little additions, along with him saying what to Humberto Carrillo when he was speaking Spanish. It's these little nuances that make a wrestler fun, right? Beyond that, he can do everything that Humberto Carrillo can do, I think, and he's got a better finisher. So there you have it. You know what I mean? I don't like this ladies' man type gimmick because for two reasons. One, it's overdone, and also like he proposed to his girlfriend on NXT, so like. That's just stupid, but it is what it is, you know? The match, like I said, was all right. It did kind of feel like a Mortal Kombat. You know in Mortal Kombat, when you climb, like in the old Mortal Kombat, probably in the new ones too. I haven't played the towers in the new ones. But yeah, you know in the old Mortal Kombat, when you climb the tower and like at a certain point you fight the mirror image like of yourself. This is how that match felt. It was like Sub-Zero versus Sub-Zero, except Sub-Zero was cooler. See what I did there, motherfucks? Than both of these jobbers. Even though Garza, he is climbing up my list. I like Garza. But I mean, I like him. Again, it's the same way I like Andrade. It's the same way I like a few of the other ones. I like them in the context of what they are, which is mid-card jobbers. You know, like basically when I say I like Angel Garza, what I mean is I think he's better than Buddy Murphy. That's like, no one's saying he's better than Edge, obviously, right? So there you have it. Next up, we had Street Profits versus Murphy and Rollins. I did not enjoy this, to be honest. I don't like Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. When they were doing an interview, like before the match, just like seeing them next to each other, it was weird because it's like, you know, Seth Rollins was like in the Shield when Buddy Murphy was in NXT with like Blake and Murphy. You know what I mean? Like they're so far apart. They're so far apart that for them to be presented as pseudo equals now is ridiculous. You know, like AOP should just be the tag champs. Like that would have made more sense in my opinion. But anyways, there you have it, cucks. The match started. Typical Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy tag match. There was some back and forth going on. The highlights were this. First of all, Montez Ford's frog splash is incredible. This guy jumps so high, it's crazy. And two, at a certain point, Montez did like an assisted sliced bread number 2. And Michael Cole says, oh, Rollins planted on his face. Or like, Rollins face first. And I'm like, yo, it's the exact opposite. It's the back of your head, retard. So there you have it, you know. The match ends, as everyone should expect it to end, with Seth Rollins doing a curb stomp to the guy, in between the ropes on the apron. He's done this a lot, you know. Like, this should be like it's almost like a tag finisher, you know. Like, if you're playing WWE 2020 or 2K20, this should be like a tag team move, you know, because they do it so often. So that match, it just felt underwhelming. It felt mid-cardy, you know what I mean? Like last time Rollins was in, because it is mid-cardy, but like last time Rollins was in Saudi Arabia, he lost to the Fiend in the main event. So, yeah, there you have it. But yeah, we got that over with. I was not enjoying it. Then we finally got a good match. The first good match of the night, motherfucks. We had Brock Lesnar versus Mucho Lucha Ricochet, motherfucks. Mucho Lucha up in this bitch. Now, this was great for a number of reasons. The first reason, it's also chronologically the first reason, is that it started with a vignette where Ricochet asked in a very long promo, basically, like a pre-taped promo, he's like, why not me? Like, that was the theme. It was, why not me, right? And he's like, you know, nobody thought I was big enough. I was. Nobody thought I was good enough. I was good enough. Nobody thought I'd make it WWE. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares, right? And then he ends it again with, why? I ask you again, why not me? Why can't I defeat Brock Lesnar? Because you're a bitch. Plain and simple, jobber. You're a bitch. You're not going to defeat him because you're a bitch. So, during the vignette, like, they also showed, like, they had, like, a graphic of Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre, right? And then they replaced Drew McIntyre. They replaced Brock Lesnar with Ricochet holding the belt. And it felt like such a jobber match, right? Like this would ever main event WrestleMania. You know what I mean? It's the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my life. You know, like, it's the kind of thing they show you at the beginning of a Raw where they're like, later on tonight, Ricochet and Drew McIntyre, you know, like, who gives a fuck? So he came out and he was wearing, like, short pants. So that was weird. I don't know why he was doing that. He came out, Brock Lesnar came out. Paul Heyman said, Brock is going to destroy your life. It's a spoiler, not a prediction. The match starts off really fast. Ricochet just tries to jump and do a drop kick. Brock Lesnar just attacks him while he's in the air for the drop kick. Then does like a standing vertical suplex slam type move. Then picks him up, does a few Germans. Then stands over him in like the mount position, but standing. Grabs him by the throat, lifts him up into the F5, hits the F5, and pins this jobber clean in like a minute. It was great. It was perfect. This is what a good wrestling match is, motherfucks. It's not this back and forth theory. Oh, he kicked out at 2.5. Who gives a fuck? A good wrestling match tells a story. And the story that was being told here is that Ricochet is nowhere near the level of Brock Lesnar. And that Drew McIntyre should be terrified of Brock Lesnar because look at what he did to Ricochet, right? Now, with all that in mind, I have to say this. I have to say it, motherfucks. I really think that I would prefer if Brock Lesnar beat Drew McIntyre. I like Drew McIntyre, don't get me wrong. I liked him more before he won the Rumble because now he's like a weird face who counts 1, 2, 3 and does or 3, 2, 1 and does the Claymore, right? And he keeps saying, "Oh, this is Claymore country." That's not gonna get over. Like Suplex City sounds much cooler than Claymore country or county, whatever the fuck he says. Stop trying to get things over that aren't cool. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen, cuck. But anyways, I do like Drew McIntyre, but I have to be honest. The facts are what they are. Like his push, he won the Rumble and he eliminated Lesnar, but that's pretty much all he's done since he's come back to Raw. That's all he's done. He's done nothing else. He's been there for 2.5 years. Right? He had a bullshit tag team with Dolph Ziggler, right? And then it would be like before he won the Rumble, he was where Bobby Roode is now. Where Bobby Roode is now. Imagine if in 2 years Bobby Roode wins the Rumble, I like Bobby Roode too, but it's what the fuck, all of a sudden Drew McIntyre is going to go beat up Brock Lesnar. Why didn't they just push Drew McIntyre like they should have off the jump? Bring him from NXT. You couldn't really do it because he dropped the belt to Andrade. He was like 1.5 feet shorter than him. But bring him from NXT and just have him just run through people, man. The same thing with Lashley. Just have them run through people. Same thing with Corbin. There's all these big stars, big guys who also have star quality, right? That they just, I don't know, I don't understand what Baron Corbin has to do, I get it. All right, Drew McIntyre looks better because he's in much better shape, but let's be real, man. What about Baron Corbin? This guy's been just he's been an upper mid-carder for such a long time, I think he deserves a shot. But anyways, so that was great because he squashed Ricochet, he squashed Mucha Lucha. I enjoyed that a lot. I forgot. We also had Mansoor, motherfuckers. Oh, and this actually, I'm glad I forgot because this is a good segue. I was telling my friend, just like I said to you guys, and how I think AJ2000 in one of my videos pointed it out. He was like, well, why is Mansoor off the card? Because the way I would have booked it is you have Mansoor versus Brock Lesnar, just because, he doesn't deserve to be there anyways, according to the way he's booked, right? But you have Mansoor versus Lesnar for the title, right? And the only problem is then you can't really squash Mansoor because people aren't going to like that. But if Brock Lesnar was going to have a 4-minute match with Ricochet, where Ricochet does some moves, it would have been better to have Mansoor to kind of get the hope of the crowd up and then crush it under the iron fist of Brock Lesnar. But the reason why Mansoor wasn't on this card is because, number one, turns out Ricochet was going to get screwed completely. And also, Mansoor had a match against Ziggler. Now, I got to be honest. I like Mansoor. When I say I like him, I like him as much as I like Mustafa Ali. I should clarify. I like Mansoor in the context that Mansoor is not someone that doesn't deserve to be in the WWE. Mansoor is a decent enough wrestler. You know what I'm saying? He's not great, but he's decent. He's new, he's young, he's decent. The one promo he cut in English at Super Showdown #1 or whatever, where they introduced him as being signed. Like, he's the one that stood out. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a complete jobber. He's got like some unique moves. You know, like there's something there with him, right? I have no problem with Mansoor being a wrestler. What I do have a problem with, however, is the fact that Mansoor, right, like, they make him seem more important than he is. And the fact that he's booked like he's like this lucky guy who like has no business being there, right? Because he was on NXT like a few months ago for like a match here, which he won. I think he's undefeated, right? He's undefeated. Now he's beaten Ziggler as well, who's a former champion. He beat Ziggler, who's a former champion, like a multiple-time mid-card jobber champion. Then he beat Cesaro, who is like also a multiple-time mid-card and tag champion, right? And Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. And then Mansoor also won the biggest Battle Royal of all time, whatever, right? So, kayfabe-wise, why isn't this guy being pursued by SmackDown and Raw? You know, why is this guy being given a chance? Like, think about it. If you know, the kayfabe was real life, right? If Raw and SmackDown were competing against each other for the best talent, right? Why the fuck would SmackDown keep Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler, right, who have lost to Mansoor, and not take Mansoor, who's red hot, motherfuckers? So that's my issue with Mansoor, other than the fact that he looks like Mustafa Ali and Seth Rollins at the same time. It's like, I think if you took Mustafa Ali and you put him in there, no one would know the difference. Like, the fans would cheer for him as if he were Mansoor. Like, it's the same guy, I think, you know? So Mansoor won. This was kind of stupid. I did not like the fact that he won because I think it would have told a better story that Mansoor has a competitive match and then loses to the veteran Dolph Ziggler, right? At a certain point, Ziggler hit the zigzag. So I'm thinking, all right, good. You can end the match here. No, Mansoor kicked out of the zigzag. You know? He kicked out of the zigzag like a cuck. Then Dolph Ziggler goes for the sweet chin music, misses it, because he does like the tuning up for the band or whatever thing first. Then Mansoor hits, this was a pretty cool move. He kind of fucked it up, but it's a cool move as an idea. It's basically like a sliced bread DDT, right? So it's like a reverse sliced bread #2, right? He hit that, then he hit a moonsault and landed on, like he landed with his knees on Dolph's like chest and midsection. And he pinned him after the moonsault. Now, this would be a great finisher if that was like the intention behind it. You know, if the intention was like, I'm gonna do a moonsault, and the point is I'm gonna hit him with my knees, right? Because that's kind of cool, I think. But obviously it wasn't on purpose. Just Mansoor's not good enough. He's a little green, motherfuckers. So then after that, Mansoor cuts a promo. Like, I want to hear this asshole speak. I understand there was a live crowd there, but bro, it's like 3 p.m. You know, like, and I'm, you know, I decided not to work as much today so I could watch this bullshit, right? Because I thought, I mean, everybody knows I just wanted to watch to see Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, but whatever, you know, I decided to give it a shot. I don't know what order these matches are going to be in. So there you have it, motherfuckers. He does this stupid ass promo in half Arabic, half English, and it's the same shit as the last promo. Oh, you guys, well, pulled me up. Your voices carried me through this match. We get it, dude. You're Saudi and you're proud. And like, but until I see you anywhere other than Saudi Arabia, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, and let's face it, like when he was walking out, I thought to myself, this guy's never going to be a WWE champion. You know, the only way Mansoor becomes WWE champion is if they decide to have WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia and decide to take money to make Mansoor champion. There's no other way, dude. He's not good enough, dog. Then, what do we have? Then we had Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin for no reason whatsoever. This match is just like, it's too much now, man. It's too much. You know, I don't watch SmackDown anymore. I mean, I'm going to start, not this Friday, because this Friday will be out of town, but I'm going to start next Friday probably to like watch it on DVR. But let's be real, motherfucks. Let's be real. Like, how long has this feud been going on? It seems like it's been going on since the beginning of the draft, which was a minute ago, motherfuckers. You know, it was a while ago. So there you have it. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is that all about? So, yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah. Match went on. I missed most of it because I decided to leave. I was at this cafe watching it. I decided to go do some grocery shopping because I was going to go buy some steaks to make today, but I ended up buying a bit more, so it took a little longer. But the match still wasn't fucking over. I mean, I was quick because I knew that I didn't want to miss anything else. But the match ended with Roman Reigns doing a Superman punch while having his wrist wrapped in a steel chain. Okay, fine. You know, like, fine. The match wasn't garbage, but it's like, I'm not interested in this feud at all. You know, they haven't done a good job building up Baron Corbin. And honestly, Roman Reigns, like, he's flat, man. Like, he's just not that interesting. It's like, I'm sorry. Like like he doesn't. I mean, it's probably because I don't watch SmackDown, but it's like, does he do promos anymore? Does he like do anything interesting? You know, because all I see is him wrestling Baron Corbin. You know, gives a fuck. So, anyways, after that, we had a match that I forgot about, and this was like the worst match of the night by far. It was Naomi versus Bayley. Absolute garbage. No one cared at all. Not one person in the entire arena gave a shit about this. I will say that the ending was pretty cool. The finish was pretty cool. Bayley gets her in like an Indian deathlock type thing, and then uses her shirt that she's wearing because they're in Saudi Arabia and they can't show any skin. Uses that shirt to trap her foot, and then hits this like new driver thing that apparently is like her new finisher, right? Bayley retains. Now, the fact, it made sense after the spot, but Naomi was like wearing this much larger shirt, you know? Like she didn't have to wear this like super baggy shirt like she did. And she did, and it made her look like shit. It made her look like shit, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it made her look like one of those like 45-year-old alcoholic women that just like are complete slobs. And they just like hang out and just play bingo, you know what I mean? Like it just made her look older and sloppier, you know? And she's not like an old broad. And I mean, I don't find Naomi attractive, but I can tell that she is attractive, you know what I'm saying? Like I think she's like, her face is a little weird looking to me, but she's got a decent body, you know? So they have to cover it up because Saudi Arabia motherfucks. So there you have it. I always thought the other one, Cameron of the Funkadactyls was the hotter one, and therefore my favorite one, motherfucks. So there you go. But we all know it has nothing to do with being hot anymore, which is kind of unfortunate because it should. You know, like that's part of what sells, right? Like for better or worse, that's what sells. Like that's why they try to hire like male wrestlers that are handsome and female wrestlers that are attractive, that are pretty. You know what I mean? So and the fact that Alicia Fox, I don't know, like she stole the company. Why isn't this bitch being featured prominently? She's hotter than all of them, you know, except for maybe Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is pretty hot, except now she's a man, so, you know, it is what it is. Then finally, after this punishment of a match, which no one wanted to see, and I was, like, dreading, like, I wanted to leave the place, too, but it was, like, the match was almost over, and I didn't want to miss the Goldberg match. So, yeah, I'm so glad I'm home, motherfuckers. So, then the last match happened, Goldberg versus The Fiend. All right, we got to take a break here and talk about a few things. Number one, the WrestleMania card was leaked, I think, by Dave Meltzer, and it said it's going to be The Fiend versus Roman Reigns. Now, I knew this wasn't going to happen. Here's why, motherfucks. WrestleMania is only 38 days away, so there's not enough like time to really create an epic WrestleMania feud, right? It's possible, but it's unlikely. You know what I mean? Like that's why Cena's coming back tomorrow, because it's like, yo, like, this is the last opportunity you have to actually start a feud, you know? And that's not going to be an epic feud, but it is what it is. So the problem is this, right? The problem is this. Like, people were like, oh, we're going to see Roman Reigns. He's going to win the Elimination Chamber, and Bray Wyatt is going to beat Goldberg. And all these motherfucks, I see them in the comments and a bunch of streams that I've been to. Oh, I can't wait till The Fiend destroys Goldberg. I can't wait till The Fiend beats Goldberg. Meanwhile, I'm out here and I'm like, dude, as soon as they announced Goldberg versus The Fiend, I'm like, dude, Goldberg is obviously winning 100%. 100%. There was never a doubt in my mind. And here's why, motherfucks. Because to make a feud between Goldberg and Roman Reigns, you don't need a long time. The feud writes itself. These two guys are going to spear the shit out of each other, and that's all you need to know, motherfucks. That's all you need to know. It is two monsters of humans, right? Not some goof in a mask, but it's two human beings that are beasts, right? Both aren't afraid of anything, right? Both are alpha males, so it writes itself. You don't even like once Roman Reigns wins the Elimination Chamber, you don't need anything else. You don't even need to like have them talk at each other. Just tell me, all right, it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. I'm already interested. It's already interesting. You understand what I'm saying, motherfucks, right? And I knew that card was horseshit because it's like, oh, like John Cena versus Elias. Now, I haven't watched SmackDown, so maybe Elias is like really hot right now. But let's be real. I mean, I've read about SmackDown. I've read like the results, you know, because I like to keep up with what's going on, cucks. But that just doesn't sound like a WrestleMania match. Elias, like, is he a main eventer now or something? Because last time I checked, Elias was an undercarder. He's not even a mid-carder. He's an undercarder, man. So, like, that doesn't make any sense. So I think that's going to be wrong too. I think Cena's going to enter the Elimination Chamber. That's what I think is going to happen. And from there, there's one of, I suppose there's three possibilities, right? Like assuming that these three people will be in the Elimination Chamber. Wyatt, fucking Roman Reigns, and John Cena. But I guess before we continue this, the match happened like this. Goldberg speared the shit out of the Fiend and then hit a jackhammer and won clean. The end. That's what happened. It was great. It was fantastic, motherfucks. But yeah, the Elimination Chamber is going to have probably the following competitors. Corbin, Roman Reigns, Cena, right? The Fiend now. And I'm sure they'll put like Elias or some other, whoever the fuck else is there that could kind of fill a spot, you know, like someone that's going to have a Sarah Logan spot. But one of the winners is going to be either, like, probably it's going to be Roman Reigns because he has no direction whatsoever and he's not a big enough star to plug in there against, like, Cena. I mean, sorry, he is. You can plug him in against Cena. But he's not, like, big enough to plug him in against, like, him and Bray Wyatt, right? Like, that's not compelling, you know what I mean? So, unless it's for the title. So, for that reason, I think it's going to be Roman Reigns. But it could be Bray Wyatt and he gets his rematch against Goldberg. But I don't think anybody wants to see that since we just saw it, you know? Or it could be, motherfuckers. Don't count out this possibility. The champ, John Cena. Think about that, motherfuckers. Cena versus Goldberg. That feels like a WrestleMania main event. It feels like one. You know? So does Goldberg and Reigns, I'll be honest. That feels like a WrestleMania main event too. But not as big as Cena versus Goldberg. And I'm assuming that the third guy, right, out of these three, one of them is going to win and face Goldberg, and the other two are going to face each other. That's the only thing that makes sense. You know, I don't think Elias is going to be there. I think what's going to happen is this. Cena, it's going to be either Cena versus Wyatt, right? Or I guess it's possible Cena versus Roman Reigns and Wyatt wins the chamber match, which I don't think is going to happen. Or I hope it's just a throwaway match. Roman Reigns versus what the fuck's his name? Versus Bray Wyatt. Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt, right? And then we just have Cena versus Goldberg, you know? That's what I want to see. Now, the problem is if Cena wrestles, like if Roman Reigns wins and Cena wrestles Wyatt and Wyatt beats Cena, that's just horseshit. That's retarded. Because Goldberg, I know Goldberg's a beast, but if Goldberg can beat Bray Wyatt, then Cena should have no problem with his jobber. Cena should have no problem just putting the last nail in the coffin of Bray Wyatt, right? And taking him out of WWE for a few months and having him come back with a normal guy gimmick. It's over, man. It's done. Bray Wyatt is done. It's not a good idea. It never was, motherfucks. Everyone was like, oh, this guy's great. He never was great. He was average, all right? He was average, and he seemed like he was great because he had, like, a gimmick in a time when no one had gimmicks. Now, I will say this. In the ring, Bray Wyatt is not bad. Bray Wyatt wrestles good for, like, a guy his size, you know what I mean? Like, he's about as big as Goldberg. He's got fun moves. I mean, not the claw, but he's got fun moves otherwise. He, like, lifts people up. He jumps on them. He's, you know, like, he's all right. But that's why I think he would be better repackaged as just, like, whatever the fuck his name is, you know, like Jimmy John, right? The wrestler. Just do that, man. It's done. This thing failed completely. And all the morons that went along with it, I don't understand these people, you know? Like, all right, in the beginning, it's like, all right, it's a new character. It's a stable. I like stables, so I get it, right? You have Bray Wyatt. Then Bray Wyatt becomes a comedy jobber with Matt Hardy, right? The deleters of worlds. That's so stupid, right? Then after that, he comes back, and all of a sudden, he's the Fiend, right? And now I ask you, now that his reign is over, right? And I don't just mean his title reign, but the reign of being undefeated. The mystique is gone. The Fiend can be defeated. It turns out that just because Rollins couldn't do it, or Bryan couldn't do it, two midgets, doesn't mean he can't be defeated. It just means he's fighting beta male cucks, right? Once he met the alpha male, Goldberg, he just got put right in his place. People understand. They're like, Goldberg is better, dude. All the Saudi fans were loving Goldberg because they understand. Look at Goldberg. Look at The Fiend. Look at Rollins. Look at Daniel Bryan. Which one of these guys stands out as like an exceptional human? Obviously, the answer is Goldberg, right? So even in his old age. So one of my friends texted me and he was like, oh my God. He's like Miz, Bryan and Rollins just buried right now because Goldberg beat The Fiend and The Fiend beat them. And I'm just like, dude, yes, they are jobbers. They're all three of them are not good enough to lace Goldberg's boots, motherfuckers. So of course Goldberg's gonna win. And that's the thing. That's the key to understand here, right? Like, if you look at Goldberg just destroying, in my opinion, like if it were up to me, destroying the Fiend's career. Like, this is just ridiculous. You know, what was the point of the Fiend? How is the Fiend, like up until now, the argument could be made that the Fiend is different than Bray Wyatt because the Fiend is booked stronger. He's an undefeated monster of a person, right? Like, nobody beats the Fiend. And as long as you kept that going, where he was undefeated, you could make that argument. It's like, all right, the Fiend is different than Bray Wyatt because while Bray Wyatt is kind of a jobber, right? The Fiend is not a jobber. The Fiend is just taken more seriously. It's just like Jinder Mahal, you know, like there was a point, or Drew McIntyre, when they were jobbers and then they became main eventers, right? So that's the idea of the Fiend. It's like, all right, we're going to reintroduce Bray Wyatt to you because we think this guy is a good wrestler and he can do well with his gimmick. So we're going to introduce him as this new character who's going to be awesome, right? Except here's the problem, motherfucks. He's not awesome. He had, I always talk about Kofi Kingston's meaningless title reign, but I think The Fiend has now had by far the most meaningless title reign of all time. Nothing would have changed if you had Brock Lesnar beating Kofi and having Goldberg beating Seth Rollins. Nothing would have changed. Nothing was gained by having The Fiend become champion for a few months. Zero was gained. Nothing, no one benefited from this. Not The Fiend, not the fans, not the hater, motherfuckers. No one cares about The Fiend. So now that his undefeated streak is over, what is The Fiend? He literally is just Bray Wyatt. He's just Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was a creepy guy, right, who would come and be mysterious. And now The Fiend is a creepy guy who comes and is mysterious and also loses. It's the same thing. You know, what changed? People are like, oh, Bray Wyatt really reinvented himself. Really? Did he really? Because it's the same fucking gimmick. It's just that people are too stupid to realize that it's the same gimmick. I will say that this new Bray Wyatt, right, it has the other element of like the silly Bray Wyatt, like the children's show Bray Wyatt. But that's not fleshed out enough. That's just stupid. That's just like a waste of our time, you know? Oh, Firefly Funhouse, it's the best segment on Raw. Is it? Is it really? I don't think it is, motherfuckers. I think it was stupid, and I think it's done. And now, the only thing that makes sense is this. You have Bray Wyatt lose at WrestleMania, clean to whoever he's going to wrestle, right? Maybe John Cena, let's say, right? Cena just buries him completely. And then a few months go by, and then, you reintroduce Bray Wyatt. You call him, I don't know, Bronson Stephens, right? You just call him Bronson Stephens. Make up a name for him, right? And they're like, that's Bronson Stephens, the guy that formerly played Bray Wyatt, or that the guy formerly known as Bray Wyatt, right? And then you have him cut a promo, because he's not bad on the mic, per se. It's just that, he's cutting promos that are stupid. You know, when he, his whole tenure as Bray Wyatt before he became the Fiend was garbage, because people are like, oh, this guy's good on the mic. But he would just come out, he'd be like, Abigail, you found me. You found me, Abigail, and I found Rowan and Harper, and you found us. Who gives a fuck? What happened? Who are you? You know, it's just some asshole that gets a mic and just talks about some broad named Abigail. Like, I'm supposed to care about this, you know? I cared for about 3 days. I'm like, all right, in 3 days, you better shed some light on this Abigail skirt, right? No, absolutely not. It's just like, oh, the woman that raised them. I don't give a fuck. That's not cool. That's stupid, right? So he should come out as Bronson Stephens. I even came up with a name for this bitch just now on the fly. Maybe not Stephens, but Bronson. I like Bronson. It sounds a lot like Braun, but whatever. Bronson. Let's call him Bronson. Bronson Stephens. Fuck it. Bronson Stephens comes out, and he just, I'm envisioning, ring gear for him, right? Kind of like the tank top that he still has to hide his fatness, right? But just more jacked, more emphasis on his arms, you know, oil up his arms so he looks more jacked, have him lift a bit more, do some more bicep curls, right? And he comes out and his gimmick is now just, I am tired of being this goof, you know? I'm told to play characters, to get over. I am told to be mysterious, but nobody cared, right? So now I'm here to show how good I am, motherfuckers. I am here to prove to you that I am good. Not no more smoke and mirrors, no more walking around with a fucking, what the hell? It's my girlfriend's Apple Watch. She left it here, god damn it. I had to go turn that off. Because I put it on the charger, so it's charged for her, and that just turns it on. Goddamn Apple Watch. And meanwhile, my Apple Watch hasn't been charged because I've left hers on the charger. So there you have it, cucks. But yeah, so you bring back Bray Wyatt, and he's like I was just saying, you just have him cut that promo where he's like, yo, I'm tired of being I'm tired of having to get over by being a ghost. You know, just his argument is, I'm a real dude, man. I'm a motherfucker. You know, I'm here to beat ass, right? And I've been doing that, right? But it's all been taken to the side because you know, like I have to wear a mask and I have to pretend I'm a children's show character, right? Break kayfabe just a bit, just to have this like frustrated guy, and then this character can be effective, you know? It can be effective. It's not some goof who comes out there, oh, I'm a children's show character. Like, that's not cool. It's not creepy either. It's just stupid, man. It's dumb. It's overplayed. It's overplayed. Like, the whole, like, character that's friendly to children, but in fact is evil, is an overplayed trope, starting with clowns as horror characters. What the, when people tell me, oh, I'm afraid of clowns, and I'm like, why the fuck are you afraid of clowns? You know, like, oh, I'm afraid of clowns. And some people are like, oh, I've seen It, like the original It, and that scared me when I was a kid. All right, fair enough. That's like a reasonable, I mean, you shouldn't be scared of clowns when you're a grown man, but whatever, right? But beyond that, it's like, why are clowns creepy to people? Oh, Uncanny Valley, my ass. Just like, don't be afraid of children's shit, you know? So that's why I take away this garbage character that's well run its course. I don't mean just the Fiend. I mean the whole Bray Wyatt. This guy should not be called Bray Wyatt anymore. This is one of the worst experiments in the history of wrestling, right? Like the amount of things that they probably wanted from Bray Wyatt and the amount of things that they've gotten and given him are near zero. Now, I know he's a big-time merch seller, right? But I feel like that's just weird. And I feel like that's not because the character is good. I think that's because Bray Wyatt is a likable character because he doesn't look like a normal guy, right? And he wrestles in a very like unique way. Like, cut his hair, do something, man. Dude, save this guy's career. Stop, they thought he was going to be the next Kane, probably. Or they probably thought, he was going to be the next Undertaker. Then they're like, all right, man, maybe not Undertaker, but maybe he can be the next Kane. And now he's just going to be the next Goldust, except a guy who won some championships, right? He's the next Goldust, motherfucks. He's just that guy. Oh, first he's Goldust, then he's Seven, then he's Black Reign, then he's like the Unbreakable. What the fuck he's called now? Like the Renegade. What's it called? Who gives a shit? Like the Jobber, the half face paint, Dusty Rhodes, you know, or Dustin Rhodes. You can salvage this man's career. You can salvage it. You don't have to keep him into this bullshit, and you don't have to make him into a comedy jobber either. Salvage him. Take it seriously. Like every character that's been salvaged, almost ever, this has been the course. They've gone from stupid shit to more serious things. Seldom the other way around does it work, right? Look at Vladimir Kozlov. He started off as a serious guy, right? Or Tensai. They started off as serious dudes. Before you know it, they're comedy jobbers again, right? They start becoming funny and you know, being faces, and they're jobbers. Tensai, this monster who was like powerbombing Cena or hitting him with a Baldo bomb, right? This guy who was like poised to beat Cena, he could have been a champion, right? Before you know it, he's Sweet Tea or Ice Tea, whatever the fuck his name is, Sweet Tea, Tensai. What the fuck? No, what should have happened is this. You bring in Tensai, and then when that doesn't pan out because he's fat and it's stupid, you put a shirt on him and you say, Albert's back, motherfucks. That's what you do, right? If you want to keep him around for a little bit longer. Or if you want to put him in backstage role, do that. I don't care. What I'm saying, cucks, is that in order to have something happen with Bray Wyatt, he needs to be a serious character. And when I mean serious, I don't mean like not comedy, because he's not a comedy character now, but he's not a serious character. He's a goof, you know? And the reason that the problem with being a goofy character like Bray Wyatt or Finn Balor is that like it only works if the opponent is troubled by the fact that you are the way you are, right? So Bray Wyatt, you know, versus Cena, that's a bit more effective because Bray Wyatt, I'm talking about in the past, because Bray Wyatt versus Cena was like, oh my God, I don't know who I am. Like, will Cena join the dark side, whatever, right? That's one thing. Another thing to kind of look at is when you have someone like Bray Wyatt, or in this case, The Fiend, wrestle someone like Goldberg, who's like, yo, I'm a grown man. I don't have time for your bullshit. That was like the tone that Goldberg had, was like, oh, let me guess, you're behind me. Like, dude, I'm like basically like, I'm not impressed by you. I think this is gay. I think you're gay, Fiend. So why don't you just like come out here so I can beat your ass and squash you? And that's exactly what happened. You know, how can you recover from that? How can you recover from losing to a guy who never took you seriously? You know, Bray Wyatt is beating people like Daniel Bryan who are like, oh, I'm going to shave my head and I'm going to take this seriously, have a whole this dynamic character shift, and then I'm going to come at you, Bray Wyatt, with everything I've got, right? And he destroys those guys, and then Goldberg is like, look, I'm a real man, right? The Fiend is a goof. So I'm going to come and beat his ass. That's what's going to happen. Now shut the fuck up and stop pretending you're a children's character and come out here so I can spear you. That's not what he said, but that was the subtext of it, motherfuckers. So there you go. There you have it. I might do another video today because it's still early. It's like 5:30 up in this bitch. So I might do another video, another 25 reasons, motherfuckers. 25 reasons. So I might, not today, but I might do another 25 reasons on top of this, which would be 25 reasons why Goldberg rules, motherfuckers. 25 reasons why Goldberg rules. So I just came up with a new idea, but I won't tell you guys about that yet, motherfucks. All right. Have a good day. Watch this video. Watch the videos that I link in the description because they are important, motherfucks. I don't know if I'll link one to this one, but typically do that. And if you haven't, if you're living under a rock and you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now. Cucks.